Hello everyone, this is a storybook about the book titled Just DUDIS, The Pursuit of a Happy Human by Raff Suzah. Chapter 6, Independent or Lonely? I left Josh and kept going with my goal of pursuing a happy human. He was a disciplined man and had a purpose and plan for his life. Even though he was stable, we couldn't stay longer together. Anyway, I left him thankful because I learned a lot from him. I walked for a very long time eating food from the garbage and resting whenever I needed. One day, I was checking out the garbage inside a nice house. There was such a delicious and fresh chicken breast that a human ate only half of it. I was so concentrated on filling my stomach that I didn't see the human grabbing me by the neck. It was a man with a type of necklace for cats. I got scared. That thing was choking me. From the nice house, a woman showed up and asked, "What's going on in my backyard?" "Lady, I'm from animal control. I caught this cat here raiding your garbage. He was making a big mess. I'll take him to our shelter." "What do you do with them at the shelter?" she asked suspiciously. "We take care of them," said the man impatiently. "I heard you use these animals for chemical tests," she replied even more suspiciously. "Of course we don't do that. Please, move aside and let me do my job," said the man angrily. "No, sir, you won't take this cat." "I'm sorry, lady. County policy. I'm taking it." "No, you won't. I claim that this cat is mine. He's been mine since he was born, and I forgot my door open, and this is the reason he is here. This is not a street cat," she said. "That is a lie," he said angrily. "It doesn't matter. Do you think people will doubt the word of an old widow like me? You'll be in trouble if you take my cat," warned the old lady. Then she looked at me and said, "Come on, Jasper Jay. Let's get inside. It's too dangerous out here," she said, looking at me. I was very glad that she saved me from that man. I didn't know where he was going to take me to. All I could say was that it wasn't a nice place. Otherwise, he wouldn't have used a choking necklace on me. Even being thankful, I thought, "Jasper Jay? What a horrible name. I wish I could find a way to tell her my real name. It's DUDIS, just DUDIS." Okay, I'd found out later that Jasper was the name of her hometown and Jay was her last name. That's why she named me like that. It's still a horrible combination though. "But lady, I have to take this cat," insisted the man. "Don't call me lady. My name is Emiliana Globe J. And this isn't a street cat. This is Jasper J, my cat. You may leave my backyard now," said Emma to the man while she was taking me inside her house. "You named the cat with your last name as if it were your son?" asked the man surprisingly. "Yeah, this is to show you how attached we are. Now please leave my property," replied Emma. When we got inside, she told me I could call her Emma, her nickname. She would only allow her family call her like that. The funny thing was that she knew I couldn't talk, and yet she told me to call her by her nickname. This was how I met Emma. She was an independent old lady. Her husband already passed away and her kids were adults, and they all lived with their families. She was a nice lady, used to feed me all the time even when I wasn't hungry. I got fatter and lazier living with her. Emma used to do everything alone, even hard things for old folks, such as scrubbing the floor, washing the bathroom, work out, and so on. Indeed, she seemed to be proud of her independence and enjoy her time alone. Emma loved to watch television at night and talk to me. I couldn't reply any of the questions she asked, but it never seemed to bother her, because she kept talking to me. I always had this thought in my head. Why does she like to talk to cats so much? One day, without asking, she answered me. "You know, Jasper Jay, I felt really lonely when my husband died. There were some things he used to do around the house that I never thought I would be able to do without him. I felt desperate. However, as time kept going on, I realized that I simply had no options at all. Either I learned or I would depend on somebody else. Depending on people is really crummy because you create expectations that, if people don't come through, can really make you feel horrible. My old Harold used to say to me, "My dear Emma, the secret of happiness is lower your expectations." I agreed with him for a while, but then I prefer not to have any expectations at all. That's why I'm alone and don't need anybody, she explained to me. I understood Emma's point of view, but this was against everything my mom taught me. She told me about the importance of not living alone and having somebody to look after me. Even if they're strong, humans need each other, and a lonely life was a sad thing. Even if you replace lonely with independent. I lived with Emma for quite some time, and she did pretty much the same thing every single day. Wake up at 8, take a shower, get dressed, have breakfast, clean the house, and cook lunch. She used to make enough food for lunch and dinner. The food was for me too. I loved her food. Then, after eating, she used to go to the bank to pay bills and talk to bank managers. She always got into verbal fight with security guards because she wanted to enter with me in her bag, and they wouldn't allow that. Anyway, in the end, she always won. In the afternoon, she usually had a different kind of doctor to go to and visit a pharmacy to buy some drugs. After that, she used to go to a grocery store or some kind of butcher store to buy more stuff. At night, she used to eat dinner and feed me. Then we would spend the rest of the night watching television. I loved television. It kind of hypnotized me for hours, thinking of nothing. It did the same to Emma. That was her way to disconnect from the world. That was pretty much our routine, except when something needed to be fixed in the house. That was a very stressful day because Emma always tried to fix that by herself, and after hours trying, she would realize she couldn't do it. If she'd still had her husband around, he could do it. She knew it, and she cried for some time, every time. I think that was the moment she realized she was lonely instead of independent. One day, Emma's granddaughter went to visit her. She wanted to show that she wasn't happy with her visit, but I could feel it was the opposite. She was really happy to have somebody over her house after so much time. They had lunch together and talked about their lives. Paula was a wealthy lawyer growing her career and married to a rich businessman. They barely saw each other. They didn't have any kids, but she wanted to be a mom. However, her husband didn't want kids because this would get in the way into their career. Neither her husband nor Paula were willing to give up their careers and have a more hectic lifestyle in order to have kids. Paula decided to visit her grandmother because they once were best friends and used to talk about everything. She loved Emma's advice. She wanted someone to talk to. Emma wanted the same, even not showing that. They talked for hours, and I could see Emma was happy in a way that I have never seen before. It was a nice friendship. The visit was going very well until the moment Paula decided to go deeper into the conversation. "Grandma, we are all worried about you. We don't talk like we used to since Grandpa's death," she said. "I know. I have been trying to go on with my life, but it ain't that easy," Emma said. "We miss you. I miss you," Paula said. "I miss you too, but we shouldn't be so connected, because when I die, you won't miss me as bad as I miss Harold," she said with tears in her eyes. "No, Grandma, that's not true, and you know it. I have such a busy life with my office and my fancy things that I don't even recognize myself anymore. I feel that I sold my soul in exchange of money and stuff. But today, I decided to end this for good. I stopped everything and came here to talk to the person who I love the most, hear advices. So please, Don't you ever tell me again to disconnect from you, she said, thrilled. Emma cried for some time, and Paula hugged her. It took Emma some time, but she didn't resist and hugged Paula back. All of a sudden, Emma felt a strong pain in her chest. She stared at Paula with her eyes wide open. She was scared. She fell on the floor. "Grandma, what's going on? Talk to me," Paula said. She was scared too. Emma couldn't say a word. Her teeth froze. Her breathing was faster. She started to sweat and shake her hands. Paula got desperate. "What's going on? Please, talk to me," she yelled. She was nervous. Her hands were shaking too. After a couple of seconds, Emma took a deep breath to say something. She was still puffy though. "I guess I'm dying. It hurts so much," she said with a trembling voice. "Please, Grandma, don't go now. I need you," said Paula, crying. "You can't have me, but you can have my advice. Being lonely sucks. It's nice to be selfish and only think about yourself in the beginning, but you always have the feeling that there's something missing. Your visit was the best moment I had in a long time. Please, Grandma, don't leave," Paula begged in tears. At that point, she knew Emma was going to say goodbye for good. "You know, after Harold's death, I never thought I would be able to do the things he used to do, such as fixing house problems, pay the bills, and so on. But I learned those things and did a pretty good job. I became a completely independent woman. However, there was always something missing for me. Truth be told is that we need people and they need us. I wish I could change so many things differently, but I can't go back in time. Paula, my dear, do the things you love and don't waste a second away from those you love." That was the moment she closed her eyes and never opened them again. Paula cried like a baby, and I felt very sad too. I liked Emma very much, and now I'm gonna miss her. But life doesn't stop for anybody. I had to go on.